beaten Arizona.
All this and more coming up next on Beavers All Access.
Hi, everybody. Todd Mansfield with you. So glad you're joining us for this edition of Beavers All Access. Now, you may have caught the show before when we did it during the fall quarter, but that was focusing in on football and behind-the-scenes information that you don't get anywhere else. This is our winter edition. It's going to focus more on basketball, and in fact, we'll be joined by the men's head coach, Jay John, and the women's coach, LaVonda Wagner, to talk about their teams and the upcoming seasons and how things have progressed so far. But we also want to make sure we deliver on-campus news, because there are lots of things happening right here in Corvallis, including some of the football team news. Now, we all know what happened recently. The team found their way into the Sun Bowl, traveled down to El Paso, Texas, and boy, were things down there great against Missouri in the 39-38 win of that game. What a time it was. I know I enjoyed it, and so did a lot of you in Beaver Nation, because I caught you all in the airport on the way home. But also, they're doing a lot at Reser Stadium. In fact, they've got beautiful new work being done on the south end zone. Reser Stadium becoming one of the greatest stadiums in the country as they continue to develop that. Now, football's not the only team that has things going on right here on the campus of Oregon State, because the baseball team has been really adding on to, well, it was a national championship. They should be adding on, and they are just that. We caught up with Coach Pat Casey for him to tell us about some of the differences you'll see this season over at Coleman Field.
Hey, Todd. Just polishing up on a few things from last year's season. You know, we open up here in a couple of weeks in Hawaii, and we're certainly getting excited about that. We're also excited about our fans coming back and seeing some of the changes at Goss Stadium, Coleman Field. We have done a lot since we've been back. Put up a new scoreboard. You guys are going to enjoy that. Putting in field turf. Well on our way for the fundraising project to expand the stadium. So a lot of good things happening in Oregon State baseball.
Not all the work is being done outside in Corvallis. Some of it's being done inside in the men's locker room for basketball. This is one of the state-of-the-art locker rooms in the Pac-10. It's something to behold. Now joining me is the men's basketball coach, head coach Jay John. And do you need any extra players? Because that locker room is absolutely gorgeous. I'm willing to go search for some more eligibility.
Well, I tell you, the locker room came out better than I could have imagined. I mean, I saw all these pictures on paper and two-dimensional, and I had no idea when the designer said, you know, when this all gets up there, it's just going to blow you away, and he was right. You know, just for our own current guys to have something like that. It's, you know, it lifts their spirit, gives them a feeling that of importance, and then the recruits. And initially, when we designed the locker room, we wanted to build a locker room that was better than anything I'd ever seen. We took some examples from 4 different NBA locker rooms and one locker room like that. And I think we accomplished it. Yeah, because I've had people come in and say, in fact, Tex Winter came in and he helped us with a clinic, and he came in and told us, he says, wow, it looks like an NBA locker room. So we accomplished our mission, and it's going to help us in many, many ways.
Let's talk a little bit about this team, this year's squad, your assessment of how things have been progressing forward, because you are in that building stage. You have had some tremendous success with this group in your first 4 years, but where is it with this group?
Well, this group is kind of learning as we go. It's you know, we've got a freshman point guard, and he's a wonderful guy, wonderful leader, great worker. You know, Josh Tarver. He's in the gym shooting every morning. You know, Monday to Friday, 5 o'clock. I mean, he's a dedicated guy. But the challenges that he faces, you know, day in and day out, and running the team, you know, we have that he keeps getting better, and we had, you know, with only one senior. We once again, it's a day at a time. We just try to get better and work hard every day. And And I feel that we've made significant progress. Without any question, we've made great progress throughout this season.
Yeah. When you look at some of the guys that maybe stepped up that you didn't know that were going to really be big, I think McGillis has been a really nice addition as he's developed in his sophomore year. And you can't say enough about Johnson as well, because he's always there and driving as one of the captains of the team.
Well, Michael Johnson is you know, he's with us as a walk-on, and in his 5th year, he's already graduated. And his lifelong dream was to play for the Beavers, and so as his father did, Father Steve. So he's been able to accomplish that, and it's wonderful that he's been able to help us, because he's you know, he's a marvelous guy and a great leader and team captain for us. And Jack McGillis also, as a sophomore, is continued to improve and had an impact on our program, which, you know, he played spot minutes last year, but this year he's doing a great job for us. And so, you know, both of those guys embody the spirit that we need to have, and, you know, to just, you know, fight through our bumps in the road, because we've had a few bumps in the road, but that's how we're going to continue to get better.
Still ahead, the Beavers pull off a big upset on the road in L.A. But up next, Jay John looks to lead Oregon State to another win over the Wildcats in the Arizona desert.
This is your home's life preserver. Make sure it's working. Another lifesaver from your King County Fire Marshal Division.
Don't neglect your lower body when you work out. Try this.
Get in a shoulder-width stance and hold dumbbells at your side. Bend at the waist as far as you can. Return to the starting position by squeezing your glutes. Keep your hips centered over your feet.
Get more tips at 24hourfitness.com.
For nearly 2 decades, the most popular automotive sales event in America has been staged at the Supermall in Auburn. Another one of these events is scheduled this weekend, featuring nearly 1,000 vehicles, all sale priced. However, the car business has changed, with the average price of a new vehicle dropping some $3,000 due to employee pricing type programs. The prices on used vehicles are in a virtual free fall. This requires dealerships to turn this inventory much more quickly. In fact, there's never been a better time to acquire a used vehicle than right now. Simply stated, you'll save thousands on your next vehicle this weekend at the Supermall in Auburn. You owe it to yourself to take a look, don't you? The Conley & Associates event.
For over 40 years, Waltz Auto Care Centers have been the Puget Sound's #1 choice for automotive service and repair. From oil changes to major engine repairs, Waltz does it all. Waltz expert technicians and friendly staff can repair your car, SUV or truck, same day in most cases and for less than most dealerships. With over 20 locations in the Puget Sound area, there's one near you. Waltz Auto Care Centers, expert technicians providing same-day service at affordable prices.
Every year, Sleep Country sells thousands of new mattresses from Simmons, Sealy, Spring Air, and Pacific. And at the end of the year, Sleep Country clears out hundreds of last year's models during the huge year-end clearance sale. Save on brand new mattresses from last year, plus floor samples, demonstrators, freight damage, and customer returns. Last year's models mean this year's savings. Sleep Country's huge year-end clearance sale going on now. Guaranteed comfort, best selection, lowest price.
Why buy a mattress anywhere else?
FSN, home of the Oregon State Beavers.
Last week inside Hill Coliseum, the official presentation of the Pac-10's game-changing performance of the year was presented. And yes, indeed, it was presented to the Beavers. Now, you remember the play, right?
Now it comes down to the two-point conversion try as the Beavers try to hang on and win in Corvallis. Takes the snap, turns, throws, batted down! The Beavers will win it! The Beavers will win it!
What a great moment that was. I'm sure everybody's still dancing about that. What was even better was that Oregon State was presented to their General Scholarship Fund a check for $10,000. Coach, I wanted to ask you, last Thursday, a tremendous Thursday in Corvallis. The #1 team in the nation comes in, UCLA. It's not often that there is a team in your home building that's #1 in the nation. It hasn't happened in Corvallis, what, 19 years?
I think that's right, about 19 years. And no, that was pretty exciting. There's no question about it. And you know, I felt our kids gave everything that they had with UCLA. Certainly their experience and veteran players took over the game at a particular point in the second half. But I really feel in the first half we outplayed them. You know, we had opportunities with layups and free throws, and I was disappointed that we weren't ahead. And so we gave a great effort. I think we might have left some of that from Saturday may have been left on Thursday, and that's where we are right now, to be able to carry on that level of intensity. You know, bang, bang, and guys, that's where we have to go from here.
That's right. Well, you know, now coming up, it's going to be Arizona, and they're a team that, well, A, you're no stranger to, and B, Oregon State's no stranger to having success against them. What a year it was last year when you took down Arizona.
Yeah, that was something. I mean, we were coming off the road win at Cal, which was a big win, and then you know, we jumped all over them. I mean, I'm looking up the scoreboard at one point in time, and you know, we're up 41-18, and I got to be honest, I wasn't sure that I'd see that, but nonetheless, we closed out that game, and it was a big thing for us.
No doubt about it. Now, a lot of people I know go to Arizona for playing golf and sitting in the sun. You go for basketball, but that's also because you kind of started there back in the high school ranks and moved on to Arizona. Take me back. Do you enjoy going back there and revisiting some of this?
Oh, I do. There's no question about it. I mean, my roots are in Tucson. I was born and raised there, and it's very rare in this profession that you can go live back in your hometown, work at your alma mater, and it be a great basketball program all in the same package. And so those 4 years were really good.
You carry that experience, the Final Four opportunities, and just those experiences and what you learn. You carry those with you every single day.
Well, I do. You know, at times certainly the task at hand, at Oregon State, and I'm thinking about that. But I do. I wear my Final Four ring. That's the national championship game, and I'll never forget the experience of walking into the arena in Minneapolis. For that, it was unbelievable. And so with that, I do have some sense of what that takes and where we have to go with that, and it's a combination of things within our program. Certainly, you have to have that level of talent, and we're building toward that, and and the work ethic that goes with that.
Yeah, and it. When people look at it, I think everybody needs to remember that in the first 4 years you've been here, you guys have won more games in those first 4 seasons than have been won over 4 years since Gary Payton was here. So Oregon State's program is no doubt heading in the right direction with your leadership.
Well, I really feel that that's the case. We got the postseason play for the first in 05, first time since Gary Payton was here in '90, and certainly things have to evolve in steps. And the program was down for quite some time, and we've been able to have some success. And it's we're still trying to build that nucleus of strength and depth throughout the program. And when we first got here, we took some junior college kids and some transfers because a fellow wanted to make a splash early, and we were successful in doing that. And now we've got some better young guys than we could have ever recruited when we first got to Oregon State. And I'm thrilled with the caliber of young player that we've been able to recruit since 05.
Yeah. Coach, good luck in Arizona. Thanks for time with us this week.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Todd.
Coach Jay John joining us there. This is Beavers All Access.
Still ahead on Beavers All Access. Casey Nash stays hot in Southern California. And we'll preview the women's next matchup against the Sun Devils and Wildcats.
It's that time of year, so don't miss these savings. It's bargain days time at Les Schwab.
Once-a-year savings on odds and ends, closeouts, special purchases, and more.
We're cleaning out our stores to pass on big savings to you.
While supplies last, you'll find unique bargain days deals at every store. Plus, company-wide bargains on passenger, SUV, and light truck tires, custom wheels, batteries, and more.
The bargains are here, but they won't last long.
Bargain days, this month only at the place where we say you're the reason. Les Schwab.
The Sonics' 40th season is on FSN. The Supes hit the floor with the experience, power, and chemistry to put up high scores and strong finishes. Every game is a must-see. Heat at Sonics tonight at 6:30 on FSN.
Tonight at 10 on FSN Live, we've got all the hoops you can handle. We'll hear from the Sonics after they host the defending world champion Heat, plus the Blazers down in Big D against the Mavs. It's on FSN Live, brought to you by your Northwest Chevy dealers.
My favorite NBA League Pass moment? Oh, wow. Of course, Kobe's 81.
Kobe goes straight to the dribble in the lane later.
He's one of the most exciting players in the league. I was just sitting at home in Jersey watching NBA League Pass.
History tonight.
Now I'm thinking he's going for 100.
I'm watching the game live online through NBA League Pass broadband.
You want to score big? Get the NBA League Pass
On digital cable.
Check out a free preview of NBA League Pass on digital cable, January 22nd to the 28th. When it comes to sports, we're on your team.
It's time to start.
Ready, go. See what a Blue Man does to a rock show. How to be a megastar tour. Blue Man Group hits the stage with their electrifying arena rock show.
Rock concert movement #1.
Comcast welcomes Blue Man Group Live.
Here are your instructions.
Saturday, February 3rd, Memorial Coliseum. Tickets on sale now through ComcastTix.com. Don't miss Blue Man Group for one night only.
Beavers All Access is brought to you by Big River Restaurant in downtown Corvallis, home of Beavers All Access. Welcome back, everyone, to the Big River Restaurant. I am Todd Mansfield, now joined by the women's basketball coach, LaVonda Wagner. And you know what, LaVonda, it is rare for someone like me to be with a head coach who has wins at Pauley Pavilion, unless they're the UCLA coach, and you are not the UCLA coach, you're the Oregon State coach. Congratulations.
Thank
what
you.
a
Thank you.
fantastic
Thank
win
you.
at Pauley.
Thank
Talk
you.
to me about it.
Well, it was very exciting, and we talked a little bit before we went on the game and how much respect I have for John Wooden and what he's done for the game of basketball, and to be in Pauley Pavilion and to play there is just phenomenal. And last year, my first trip in Pauley Pavilion, I walked in and I had goosebumps. And my second trip, I walk around, I'm looking around at all the championships and just thinking about what John Wooden has done for the game. And then we go, we play the game. It was a great game. As I'm walking out, after shaking the other coach's hand, I'm like, you know what? Just won in Pauley Pavilion. What a great thing for our program, and especially for our kids. They played hard.
No doubt, and it takes that with this group. And, you know, getting that win at UCLA was about that game, but it seems like it started somewhere else for this group.
The thing that we did after that Washington State game is we condensed the game. We talked about playing possession basketball. So we talked about playing 40 good minutes. And if you look at that, the Washington game, we played 45 minutes in that game because it went into overtime, and unfortunately it was a loss. And we played hard for 40 minutes, and then we gave them 5 minutes back. And then we turn around, we go to San Diego, and we play Texas, and we play very hard for 39 minutes, and we give them 1 minute back. So in 85 minutes of basketball, you know, we play really, really well for, you know, about 80 minutes, and then we give 1 minute back. So it's just breaking it down and going possession by possession, because when you're young, you have to condense things, and I think that's really helped us.
You know, when you talk about the leadership of who's leading this team on the floor, Casey Nash, she has been tremendous, yet all of a sudden she's become a really powerful scorer. What has gotten behind this offensive explosion? You
know, it's funny because a lot of people have asked that question, a lot of people at Oregon State and outside of Oregon State, and what they don't realize is this process started a year ago, and it started last December during Christmas break. I pulled her aside and I said, hey, this is going to be your team next year. A year from now, this is going to be your team. There's not going to be a lot of seniors. You're going to be the one that lead. Right now we have great senior leadership. We have great point guard leadership. Next year, the weight of this is going to fall on your shoulders. Let's get you ready for that right now. Here's the things you need to concentrate on. And, you know, like any kid, she can really see into the future. And we went through it. The season was over. The spring comes around. We're starting individual workouts. And then it's like, oh, my God, I have all this responsibility. So I really tried to bring it along slowly. And here's the season is, and she's just been phenomenal.
She really is, and everybody's focusing on her. And while she is the scorer, somebody's got to get her the ball. And this might be even a more impressive story because Mercedes Fox-Griffin, no experience coming into this season.
You're scaring me.
Yeah, now it's getting really on the table. But she has stepped up, and talk about growing at a fast rate. Mercedes Fox-Griffin right at the top in assists per game right now.
Yeah, she comes from a great high school program. She played in the backcourt with Candace Wiggins, an All-American from Stanford, so she knows the game, very well coached in a high school situation. Last year, the transition from high school to a Pac-10 program, it can be tough, particularly for the point guard. There's so much responsibility they take on. The ball's in their hand, you know, 75% of the time. They have to make decisions. The hardest thing is they have to get the other people on the floor to do what they ask them to do. And my idea of a point guard is the coach on the floor. And so she has to have my personality. Well, you know, I'm 5'13 and a half, and she's 5'4". You know, I'm kind of out there, and she's kind of reserved. So getting us to kind of mesh has been a process, but she's handled it extremely well. And every day she gets better, and I'm just really proud of her. You know, she's already committed being in the gym and working on that. And so this kid has really put this on her shoulders and said, let's get it done.
Well, that's talking a little bit about the offense. You're going to face preseason All-Americans, Player of the Year candidates, it seems like every single game. This past weekend, you did it with two, Noelle Quinn of UCLA, and along with that, Shea Murphy of USC. And you stuck one person on them, and she did a heck of a job. Ashley Allen, brand new to the system, the junior transfer from down the road. She came up from Oregon.
Ashley Allen has done a tremendous job on the defensive end, and that's something at the beginning of the year we knew she needed to work on. So I'm really proud of her for that. She's done it for the past 80 minutes of basketball, and she has guarded All-Americans and has done very well. And, you know, she's got to continue to step up. We don't have a lot of personnel. We don't have a lot of depth, so people have to know their role and play their role and accept it, and we just keep getting better and better every day. And she's done that.
Big White Ski Resort in beautiful British Columbia is Canada's #1 resort for families. At Big White, kids fly, ski, and stay free. Find more discounted packages online at bigwhite.com. Don't miss out on Big White's Canadian champagne powder this winter.
What can you get for a buck?
Can't get gas for a buck.
Can't get a loaf of bread for a buck.
You can't even get a cup of coffee for a buck.
But you can get $1 million abs for a buck.
Because now $1 lets you try the Ab Lounge XL system.
Discover the secret to $1 million abs for just a buck.
With over 4 million sold, Ab Lounge is the new gold standard in abdominal exercise.
And now the Ab Lounge XL $1 million abs are just a buck away.
This deal is absolutely insane because now you can try the complete Ab Lounge XL system for a full 30 days with free shipping and handling on delivery.
Not for the usual $14.95, but for just $1.
Back-breaking crunches are obsolete.
Ab Lounge XL's jackknife motion gets you up off the floor, stretching beyond 180 degrees for ultimate results.
Every move counts as you target your abs without wasted effort.
Our $1 deal is absolutely real, and so are these $1 million results.
The results indicate that you're going to get a tremendous abdominal workout, both for the upper and lower abs, as well as the obliques using the Ab Lounge.
When people ask me if the Ab Lounge works, I tell them it's amazing. It got rid of my pot belly. If it can do that, it can do anything.
Ab Lounge XL is built with a rolled steel frame, features breathable mesh, custom foot pedals, cushioned ISO grips and focus strap, and stores just about anywhere.
Each Ab Lounge XL system includes an ab blasting DVD, healthy eating guide, 2-week jumpstart program, and aerobic workout.
Call now to try the Ab Lounge XL for 30 days for just $1. We'll even pick up the shipping and handling.
We know you'll love it, but if for some reason you don't, simply call within the trial period. Send the system back and you'll have no additional payments.
Best of all, if you return the Ab Lounge XL because it's not for you, we'll even refund your $1. Call for details.
So what can you get for a buck?
You can get this greasy hamburger for a buck.
Or you can discover the secret to $1 million abs.
Pac-10 basketball is on FSN. The doubleheader begins as the determined Beavers are out to heat things up when they travel to Arizona and take on Lute Olson's highly ranked Wildcats. Then, Pac-10 action continues when the Huskies hit the hardwood and look to teach the cardinal rule of round ball to the home team. OSU, Arizona, UW Stanford, Thursday on FSN.
We find ourselves back in the Big River Restaurant with Beavers All Access. So glad you're joining us. Todd Mansfield and LaVonda Wagner, head coach of the women's basketball team. We've been talking about some of the individual players. But when you talk about this team as a whole, there is no team in this country that is younger and more inexperienced going into this season than yours, wouldn't you say?
You know, opening up the season, I looked at our roster, and I had Casey Nash, who's the only one that has any game experience, any Pac-10 experience. Mercedes Fox-Griffin, who had limited time last year on the floor, who's a sophomore. Ashley Allen, who transferred to us from University of Oregon, had limited time there, and then 2 freshmen in the starting lineup. And it was kind of scary, and I just made a decision that every single day we were going to work to get better, and we were going to, you know, help these young kids along day by day. And every day they've done that.
And that seems to be working right now for them and for you guys in the sense of how you're just battling out there. I mean, it is a battle every single time. And Big battles coming up Thursday, Saturday. You've got Arizona State ranked number 13 in the last poll. You got Arizona coming in after that. Two really strong teams.
You know, Arizona State, they're very tough, and that's why they're ranked in the top 20. They have a 6'6" post player by the name of Kristen Thompson, who last year really, really took us to task. They're excellent at the guard spot. They have a really, I think, an All-American candidate in Emily Westberg. So it's going to be a hard matchup for us, but you know what? We'll just get out, and we'll take one possession at a time, and we'll battle, and we'll see what happens at the end of the game.
You know, when you play Thursday, Saturday, and you're playing such a tough team, and then you've got that Saturday game, how do you then prepare for Arizona? Because it's such a quick turnaround. Can you prepare all week for both teams or just one?
Don't tell my kids that. Absolutely. You can absolutely do that, and you can put in different schemes and work on different defenses that you're preparing for both. But you got to take it one game at a time, and particularly with a young team, that's how you want to approach it. You don't want to give them too much, and so we take it one game at a time, one possession at a time, and really one practice at a time, and we really try to focus on the things that are going to make us better and help us be successful.
When you've dealt with such a young team, and I've watched this from the sideline, there's an opportunity for you to know just how much to push them, and there's really kind of a mutual respect between you and the players and vice versa. How have you developed that, and how do you do that with such a young team coming from different programs all over the country?
You know, what I've found out in coaching women's basketball for the past 18 years is that the student athletes, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so you really have to have that respect and that relationship off the court in order to push them and make them better on the court. And so that's what I try to do. And so if you come to the games on Thursday and Saturday nights and you see me jumping up and down and, you know, my head popping off and me yelling at Mercedes about something, you think, oh my gosh. But then after the game's over, you know, she's got her arm around me, I've got her arm around her, and we're just talking about things and how to get better.
Well, no doubt, and we've been seeing that so far. You get a chance to see it coming out to Gill Thursday and Saturday. Arizona State Thursday, Arizona on Saturday. All right, we're going to step aside because that wraps up this edition of Beavers All Access. Next time, we'll take maybe a little bit more, a little closer look into the men's locker room, but that's coming up next week. LaVonda, thank you for joining us. For LaVonda Wagner, I'm Todd Mansfield. We'll catch you next time from the Big River Restaurant on Beavers All Access.